Hi friends, today let's see how we can create a stored procedure for automating data loads. That means by using single stored procedure, how we can load different files from different clouds to different number of tables. Okay, so after this session you will learn how you can write a automated stored procedure, how you can create a stored procedure for automating data loads from any external clouds, how to schedule same procedure at a different timings to load different tables, and how to load data into multiple tables with a single create stage command, with single copy command, and it can be any type of files like a JSON, Parquet, XML, Avro, CSV, anything, and from any external cloud like Azure, AWS, GCP. Okay, let's see. So before going into the code, I am assuming you have AWS account and S3 bucket created, and your Snowflake account was integrated with the AWS, and some files have uploaded into different folders in the S3 bucket. So if you are not sure about these three steps how to do, I have explained all these steps in detail in my YouTube video AWS Snowflake integration. You can get all these things from that video. Okay. So now let's go through the code. First of all, before writing the stored procedure, I want to do some setup like creating databases, schemas, creating a control table, creating target tables, okay, everything. So here I'm creating one database called MyDB, and I'm creating three schemas called external stages to create the stages in the external stages schema, and all the staging tables in the staging schema, and one control table in the control schema. So first let's create the control table. So this is my control table. Okay, so I am creating this control table called copy underscore control in the control schema of MyDB database. Okay, so the fields in this table, okay, are like the stage table name. So whatever the target table we want to load, the table name, and the table present in the which schema and in which database, and your storage integration object name, your storage location on the external clouds, your files type like CSV, JSON, Parquet, Avro, files pattern. So like if file name contains date field, date, everything, then what is the pattern like employee or student, or what is the pattern of your file, and what is the field delimiter using in that file, and suppose if there in case of any errors, what action to be performed, and do you want to load a header or you want to skip header, we have to mention. Okay, and then force command. Suppose if I want to reload the same file into the same table, so do you want to apply the force, so true or false, that's why I declared it as boolean. So truncate columns, so you if you have some idea on so copy options of the copy command. Suppose the file the value in the file field is exceeding the length of the column of the table, then do you want to fail that load, or you just want to truncate and truncate that length and continue. So that is also I am declaring as true or false boolean. Okay, and is active. Suppose in this table I will enter like 100 entries. Okay, in this table, suppose I want to load 100 tables, I have to make 100 entries into this table, right? But in future if I want to decommission, or if I want to deschedule any of the file load, what I can do, so I'm simply declaring one column here is active of boolean type true or false. So whenever is active is yes, is true, then only the file will be loaded. If it is false, then that file and table will be ignored. That's why, so in future if we want to decommission, we just have to update is active to false. Okay, so this is my control table, and primary key of this control table is simply the table name, schema name, and database name. Okay, and we have to create the target tables, right? So in this stored procedure I want to load four tables from four different files from different folders in the S3 bucket. Okay, so one of my table is customer data with customer ID, customer name, email, city, state, and date of birth, and second table is of JSON type. The first one is of CSV, the second one is of JSON. So where I have only one field of variant type, that is raw file, and the third table is employee data, okay, with the employee ID, first name, last name, email ID, location and department, and fourth one again customer table, okay, with the same fields, customer ID, customer name, email, city, state and date of birth. So these are the four tables I want to load from four different files from four different locations in the S3 bucket, okay, but using a single stored procedure. Okay, so I have the table details, I have the files. Suppose let's see where the files present in the S3 bucket. Okay, this is my AWS account. Okay, I have created one AWS S3 account with my name. Okay, so this is the S3 bucket. Okay, here I have different folders: CSV, files, JSON, output, pipes, XML. So I have uploaded four files. Okay, four means, suppose if you open CSV, I have three files of customer data. So my first table is customer data, right? So there are three files. I want to load all these three files into customer data again. So I have another file called pets data of a JSON type. So I want to load this file into this pets raw data. Okay, I have another employee file. Okay, okay. So here in the pipes CSV folder, I have employee files, three employee files. I want to load all these three files into employee data table. Like that, so by using a single procedure, I want to load all these tables. I want to load all these files into those tables. Okay, so for that, we have created one control table, right? Based on the entries here and based on the files present in the S3 bucket. So we have to make entries into this table. Okay, so how we can insert that entries into this table? So insert into control copy control table. So what is this customer data? So if you look at here, the table name is customer data, then schema name, database name. Likewise, in the same order I am inserting. Suppose for the customer data, I want to load it in the staging schema of my database, and my storage integration object name is s3 int. Okay, and this is the location of my S3 bucket. So from here I want to extract the data and load it into the table, and this is of CSV type. And if you look at for the second entry, it is of JSON, and my file format is like this. All my files contain the word customer in the file name, and the field delimiter for this file is a pipe symbol. For the JSON, we don't have any field delimiter. And for my employee data file, the field delimiter is comma. Okay. And for the fourth one, it is again pipe symbol. In case of error, I want to continue always. Okay, I don't want to fail. If there are any error records, just ignore them and process the remaining records. Okay. So skip header is one. That means don't load the header record. Skip the header record because all my headers contain the column names, and these are some values I have shown you, right? So what are these values? Okay, force true or false, truncate columns true or false, is active true or false. So I'm always saying true, true, true for all the tables. Okay, so first let's do this setup, then I will explain the stored procedure. Okay, so I'm just taking all these commands and my going to my Snowflake account. Okay, so first of all, I'm saying create a database. If not exist, MyDB. Okay, database created. I am creating three schemas. Okay, three schemas created. So if you want to check, you just come to this and just check in the snow site. So MyDB database created, control schema, external stages schema, and staging schema. All three schemas created. Now I am creating this control table. Okay, control table got created, and I am creating these four tables. four target tables where I want to load the data. Okay, and I'm inserting entries for the four tables into the control table. Okay, so everything is completed. So if you want to check, we can check here. So my control, so table, copy control, and we can check the data as well. So here the four entries which I have inserted just now. Okay, and just check the target tables as well. So we have created all the four tables in the staging scheme of MyDB database. So I have four tables: customer data, employee data, pets data, okay, of JSON. Okay, so this setup is completed. Now let's go through the stored procedure. Okay, so if you have some basic idea on how to create stored procedures in Snowflake, that is well. If not, just go through this. So I am creating a procedure in the schema MyDB in the staging database, and my procedure name is SP automate data copy stored procedure underscore automate data copy. Okay, so finally it returns value of varchar type, and I am writing this procedure in SQL language. So we can write stored procedures in SQL, Python, JavaScript, Java, Scala, any language we can write. Now I'm using SQL language. Okay, and I will be executing this stored procedure as caller. So if you don't have idea what is meant by this, just go to Snowflake documentation and uh, let's see there. Otherwise, look at my previous videos on how to create stored procedure, where I have explained what is meant by execute as caller and owner. Okay, and in the first declare section, I'm declaring all the variables I'll be using in the procedure. So before that, okay, so if you look at all these variables, these are simply whatever the entries we have made in the control table. So I have to read all those entries and store it in the variables, right? So that's why I just created these variables: table, schema, database, storage integration, object name, storage location, file type, file pattern, field delimiter, skip header, force, on error, truncate columns, and some other variables I'll be using in this stored procedure, like count, return value, file format, copy statement, create stage statement, file pattern. Okay, so I'll explain you what are all these variables, new variables. Okay, so first, before that, I am declaring a cursor. Okay, so if you have some idea on cursors, that is good. Otherwise, so a cursor, if we want to process any data row by row in the stored procedures or in PLSQL, first of all we have to define a cursor, and then we have to fetch each and every row from that cursor and process like that. Where the same I am doing here. First of all, I am creating a cursor with the definition select star from, okay, copy control table where is active equals to true. I told you, right? So in the first statement itself I am filtering where is active equals to true. So in the copy control table we have made four entries, right? So it will fetch all the four entries because we have entered the value true for is active for all the four tables or four entries. So this statement will fetch four entries from the control table, and we will be running this cursor in the loop. That means it will take the file from S3 bucket and it will load it into the table. Like that, the loop will continue four times. So if we have 100 files and 100 tables in that control table, this loop will run for 100 times. Like that, how many number of entries this select statement is fetching, for those many times the loop will be running and it will be loading the data into the different tables. Okay, so this is my cursor definition, and let's come to the begin section. Okay, where I am assigning one empty value to return variable. So this will be my final return value. Okay, I'll be returning whatever the value coming into this field at the end of the procedure. Okay, and I told you, right? So we have to run this cursor. So this is the cursor I just have declared here. Okay, and we have to go through this cursor multiple times until the all files get processed and loaded into the tables. Okay, whatever we are fetching in this cursor definition. Okay, so what I am doing here. So for recording, this is how we can write for loops in uh, SQL language of stored procedures in Snowflake. Okay, for record is a variable. Okay, I'm saying in curs, so curs is the cursor. So it will be continuing for record in cursor, do all these steps, and at the end just end the for loop. So this is the syntax of for loop in Snowflake SQL language. Okay, so what I'm saying, I'm assigning all these variables. I'm assigning all the values I'm reading from the control table to the variables. Okay, so record dot. Why I'm saying record dot? So I'm saying record in cursor. Okay, so what is the record here? Okay, whatever the values we are fetching from this select statement. So I'm saying select star from this control table. Okay, so in this control table we have so many fields like stage table name, schema name, database name, storage integration object, storage location, file type, pattern, everything. Okay, I'm assigning all those record values to these variables. Okay, table equals to record dot stage table name, schema equals to record dot schema name. Like that, I am assigning all these values to these variables. I am just reading the data from the control table and assigning it to cursor, and from that cursor I am just assigning it to the variables of the procedure. Okay, so by at end of this code, all the values we are getting from the control table will be assigned to these variables. Okay, and here so it can be of any type, I told you, right? So this procedure works for any type of file: CSV, JSON, Parquet, XML, Avro, any type. But so we have some extra parameters for CSV type, right? That's why if file type is CSV, then I'm assigning one file format. So my file format is, okay, the type equals to whatever the file type we are getting here. Okay, and the skip header equals to whatever the skip header we have entered in the control table. Field delimiter equals to whatever the field delimiter we have entered into the control table, and empty field as null equals to true. Suppose if we are getting some empty field from the file in the S3 bucket, I'm making it as null. That's why I'm just setting this property as true. Okay, but for JSON files, XML files, Parquet files, Avro files, all these are not required. Just file type is required. That's why only if the file type is CSV, set all these properties. Okay, to the file pattern. Otherwise just make the file format as type equals to whatever the type we are getting from the control table. Okay, so with this I am deciding what is the file type, and what this will return: one file format object. Okay, one file format object of this type based on the file type we are processing. Okay, then I am creating one stage statement called. Okay, so we have to create a stage before processing the files from external clouds, right? So I'm just preparing my, I'm not executing this create stage statement, I'm just preparing it. Okay, create stage statement equals to create or replace temporary stage. It's a temporary stage. Once this session is completed, the stage will be dropped. Okay, so if we have 100 files, 100 times this stage object will be created with the same name, and after processing the files, the it will be dropped. Again for the second file, the stage will be created and the file will be processed and the stage will be dropped again, like that. Okay, so create or replace temporary stage. Okay, I am creating the stage in the external stages schema of MyDB database, and the stage name is s3 underscore stage. Okay, and URL equals to whatever the location. So we are setting the location, right? So if you see the entries, so we are setting the location in the control table. So I'm just assigning this to URL. So if you have some good idea on how to create stage command, that is good. Otherwise you can look at external stages and internal stages videos of uh, my YouTube videos on the name external stages and internal stages from my YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm creating the stage with the URL whatever I'm getting from the control table, and storage integration object also. So we have to, whenever we want to integrate our Snowflake account with the AWS, so we have to create one object called storage integration object. So that is the object I'm passing from the control table. So my object name here is s3 underscore int. Okay, and the file format equals to file format, whatever just we have prepared the file format object, right? That's what I am passing here. Okay, now my stage create stage statement is ready. So what I am doing, so execute immediate, so we use this execute immediate to execute any SQL statement in the Snowflake stored procedure. So I'm just executing this create stage statement. Once the statement is completed, the stage object will be created. Now suppose I have created the stage object, but there are no files in that S3 bucket. But if you try to process the file, what will happen? Definitely the code will fail and procedure will fail. So we have to write a procedure such that we have to expect what are the errors we are going to get, and we have to resolve them now itself. Okay, so what I can do, first of all I can check if there are any files in the test3 bucket, then only process the file and load the table. Otherwise just ignore that file. Okay, ignore that table load. Okay, so how I am doing that, so I am creating one variable called a file pattern. Okay, so I am saying get that file pattern. Okay, so file pattern, if you see I am passing of file pattern of this type. So from this I am extracting by using that substring, I am just extracting this type. Okay, customer type. And what I am saying, okay, file format of that customer comma 3 comma length of -4. I have to omit 4 characters. Okay, first two characters, that's why the starting position is 3, and I'm ignoring the last two characters. So if you see file format, I'm just saying dot star and dot star. So these are the first two characters of this file pattern, and these are the last two characters of file pattern. I just ignoring all those 4 characters. I'm just fetching this customer. Okay, and assigning it to this file pattern. And what I'm saying, okay, so I just want to list if there are any files in the S3 stage, so whatever the stage we have created. Okay, so if I want to suppose if I have multiple types of files, okay, in the same folder, then I can simply put here like this fp. Okay, because suppose I am deriving the file pattern as customer, right? So if there are any files in the customer of customer with the name customer in this history stage, then only list them. Okay, okay, ignore this for now. Okay, and so once the statement is completed, what this will return, so it will return the list of files present in this S3 stage, whatever the location we have mentioned in this URL. Okay, and I'm saying select count of 1 into this CNT. So from table of result scan of last query ID. Okay, what I'm doing, so I'm just counting how many number of files are there in that S3 stage in that location. So for that, how I'm getting that, so if I want to fetch anything from the last executed statement, this is the way we can get. So this is the last query we have executed. So get that last query ID, and just from the result scan view, just get what are the results of this query ID, and convert that into a table format, and just select the count of 1 from that table. So if there are 3 files in this stage, it will return 3. If there are 10 files in this URL in this URL location, it will return 10. Okay, and what I'm saying, if the count greater than 0, then process the files. Okay, else just return one statement called file, the whatever the file format I mentioned. So this is like customer, right? Customer format files not present in the external stage. So if the count is 0, okay, what I'm saying, okay, so just return one statement, this customer format files are not present in the external stage. Suppose if the count is not 0, it is greater than 0, that means there are some files present in the external stage. So how you can process them? So now we have a copy command, so we have to prepare a copy command, and we have to execute the copy command. So how I am preparing the copy command, copy statement equals to copy into database name dot schema name dot table name. So copy into this table, okay, from the stage object we have created in the above statement, okay, of pattern. So whatever the file pattern, so what is the file pattern here? Customer type, okay. So customer, just bring the customer files. On error equals to continue, so whatever the value we are passing here to the on error, so continue, okay. Truncate force equals to true, that means if I'm processing the same file, just load again into the table, okay. I'm setting it as true. Truncate columns equals to true because I'm passing true as truncate columns, right? That's why I'm just giving all these copy options and preparing a copy command. So if you have good idea on copy command, that is good. If not, just look at copy options video from my YouTube channel, okay. So copy into the table name from the stage of whatever the pattern we have mentioned in the control table. On error equals to continue, force equals to true, truncate columns equals to true. So this will return true because we are passing the values as true from the control table, and we are assigning all those control table values to the cursor, and we are getting it from the cursor, okay. So the same variables I'm using in the copy command, okay. So this will prepare the copy command, and I'm executing the copy command immediately. So execute immediate this copy statement. So once this copy command is completed, based on the file format we have mentioned, that those files will be loaded into this table, okay. So the table load is completed, and I'm saying return equals to return plus return concatenate the file format, the file pattern concatenate, and some message. So suppose if I'm processing 100 files, I want to so each time my loop will run for 100 times. So this return variable should not return single statement, it should return 100 statements. Suppose if there are files available for 50 files, okay. So 50 times it will say this file, this format of file is processed, and 50 times it will say like this format file is not present in the external stage, like that. So I want to return all the values, all the file types, and what is the outcome of file processing from that control table, okay. So that's why I'm just putting return equals to return plus file format. So we derived it as customer, so customer format files completed successfully. Next time when the loop runs, it will say, so it already contains customer format files completed successfully. This statement already contains one line of value. Again it will be concatenated with next time pets data files, pets data format files completed successful, like that. It will, I will show you what is the outcome of this statement after executing this procedure, okay. So if files are not present, just throw this message, that's it. And if, and I'm ending this for loop, and I'm returning whatever the value uh, we have derived here, okay. Just return this and end, okay. And you can check the counts from these tables before and after execution of this procedure, okay. So counts before executing this procedure, and execute the procedure, and then take the counts again, okay. So let's run this, let's create this procedure and execute. So we have seen this data, right, already. So there are four entries for four files, four types of files we are processing, okay. Now I'm just creating this procedure, okay. So this is ending here, okay. Just run this, procedure has been created, okay. And just take the count before executing the procedure. I just created the procedure but not executed. 0. So all tables contains no data because we just created the tables but not processed. Now execute this file, execute this stored procedure. So it takes time because it has to read the data from this S3 buckets from different files from different buckets, and it has to process and load the data into different tables. Okay, so if you look at this, so this is the value we are returning at the end. So if you just look at this value, you will understand now. Okay, so customer format files completed successfully, pets data format files completed successfully, employee snowpipe employee format files completed successfully, customer format files completed successfully. So if we have 100 files, for each of the file format, okay, it will return. So the files processed completed, if the so the files successfully processed or the files not present in that S3 bucket, so it will return here. Okay, hope you understood this point now, and let's check the count from all the tables. So there are 100 rows, okay, loaded into the customer data, and just there are 2 rows loaded in the pets data, and some 300 records loaded into the employee data table, and again 100 rows loaded in the customer table. Okay, so this is how we can process any number of files by using just one copy command, one create stage command, and one stored procedure. So if you see, I'm not creating 100 number of stages, I'm not creating 100 copy commands. It's simple one create stage statement and one copy command. I'm just executing all of them in a loop with help of a control table. Okay, now you can see, so whatever the point I have mentioned here, so with this single stage command I am processing, with a single copy command I am processing any type of files. Suppose I have processed 3 CSV files and one JSON file. Like that we can process any type of files and from any cloud. So this I am not able to show now, but this will work because, so whatever the storage integration object we are creating, okay, that we are mentioning that, right, this can be from Azure, this can be from GCP, this can be from AWS. Okay, so based on the integration object we are setting here, it can fetch the files from any cloud storage, and it can load the data into Snowflake tables. Okay, so this is how we can automate the data loads by using a single store procedure. And we can process any number of files, any type of files from any cloud. Okay, so this is about the procedure, but you may get doubt. Suppose here this procedure is processing all the files at a time and loading data into all the tables at a time, but my requirement is different. Okay, suppose there are 4 files. So if you see the control table, there are 4 files. Okay, I want to load this customer data at every day in the morning. I want to load this pets data every day in the evening. I want to load this employee data only Monday of the every week, and I want to load this customer table at morning and evening 2 times. I want to run. So this is my requirement. Now, how we can process by using single stored procedure? How we can make that requirement? Okay, for that I'm not going to show that now, but I will give you some idea. You can implement it, you can practice and you can implement. Suppose, okay, I wanted to show one more thing. Where is the, okay, so this is, suppose this is my stored procedure and I want to load all these files on I want to load all these files at the same time. Every day at morning 7 UTC, I want to load. Okay, I want to load all the 4 files. So how you can automate this stored procedure? By using a concept called tasks. Okay, so there is a concept of tasks in Snowflake where we can automate any queries or stored procedure. Okay, so this is the syntax of a task command. Okay, create or replace task name. So I'm creating this task in the staging schema of MyDB database, and my task name is task automate data load. Okay, and the schedule is, so this is I'm scheduling it by using cron tab entry. So if you have idea on tasks and scheduling using cron tab, that is good. If you don't have idea, you can go through my task video in my YouTube channel, where I have explained what is cron, what is task, how we can schedule at different timings, everything I have explained in that video. Okay, so I'm scheduling this to run at 7 UTC every day. So if I just create this statement, this procedure will be running every day and loading all the 4 tables at a time. Okay, that means at 7 morning 7 UTC. Suppose my requirement is different, I want to load different files at different timings. So how we can do that? So first of all, um, for that we have to make some changes. Okay, in the stored procedure. So what are the changes we have to make? Okay, suppose if I want to execute a different, if I want to load different tables at different timings. Okay, I will be passing one table name as a parameter. Okay, to through the stored procedure, whatever the stored procedure I have created in the previous okay, here. So I'm just passing one more variable here, and here I'm not passing any parameters, but if I want to make this change, okay, I'll be passing one parameter called table name. Okay, and in my cursor definition I'll be just doing one change. Okay, select star from this copy control table, where is active equals to true, and where stage table name equals to the table name whatever we are passing here. That means only this table will get loaded at that particular time. Okay, hope you are understanding. If I want to load particular table at particular time, so this is the one two places I have to make changes in the code. Okay, I have to pass a parameter here, the table name as a parameter here, and in my cursor statement I just want to add one more filter. I have to just add one more filter, where stage table name equals to table name. So whatever the table name we are passing as a parameter for the stored procedure. And so suppose I want to process this customer data load every day at 8 a.m. UTC. Okay, customer data load. So how I am doing that? Just to execute this procedure at 8 UTC with the parameter customer data. So whenever 8 UTC comes, okay, so this procedure will be triggered only for customer data, and only customer data customer files loaded into the customer data table. Okay, suppose I have one more requirement. I want to load this employee data table every day at morning, every day at morning 10 a.m. and evening 10 p.m. So how can I do? I'm just mentioning schedule as 10 comma 22. That means a 24-hour format, right? So 10 p.m. means 22. So 10 comma 22 run at both times. Okay, so and I'm calling this procedure with one parameter employee data. So this filter will be added here, where stage table name equals to employee data. So only that table will get processed. Okay, and suppose if I want to every Monday at 6:30 a.m. Okay, I want to load this JSON file, pets data row. I want to process this pets data row file and load the data into pets data table. Okay, every Monday at 6:30 a.m. So how we can write a cron tab command? So cron, okay, so 6:30, this is minutes, this is hours, this is uh, uh, day of the month. Okay, this is month number, this is 1 to 31, this is 1 to 12, and this is day of the week. Okay, 0 is Sunday and 1 is Monday. So every Monday, right? That's why I'm mentioning Monday. So in the above examples, I want to run all days. That's why I just mentioned star. Okay. So hope you're understanding. So that's why I'm just calling the same procedure of pets data raw. So with the simple changes to the same procedure, now we are able to load the different files at different timings into different tables, right? So this is one exercise for you I am giving. So after practicing this stored procedure, okay, you just do these changes to the procedure and you schedule like this with the different timings. Okay, so that you will understand better. So I hope you understood the session, and you understood how we can process a different number of files and load data into different number of tables. Okay, by using a single copy command. Okay, by using Snowflake store procedure. Okay, so now just check, cross check. So what we have learnt after this session, so how we can create a automated stored procedure, how we can create how we can automate the data loads from any external clouds, how we can schedule same procedure at different timings to load different files into different tables, and how to load data into multiple tables with a single command. Any type of files we can process, any number of files we can process. We can process the data from any cloud and load it into Snowflake. I hope this is helpful. Thank you. Bye.